If you've been intimidated to try using resin, this project is for you. Today we're bringing the ocean indoors with these DIY seascape themed night lights. It's easy, totally beginner friendly, and we're going to be using UV resin, colored UV resin. And I'm super excited to let you know that Let's Resin is sponsoring this video with a giveaway. And not just one, not two, but three. Yes, three. It sounds like an infomercial. 3 UV resin colored kits. So stay tuned till the end of this video and I'm going to share with you all the deets about how you can enter to win one of these UV colored resin kits. The colors are gorgeous. You're going to love it. Alrighty, let's get busy. I bought this pack of LED nightlights on Amazon. You've probably seen me use these before in another video where I made these adorable whimsical fairy nightlights, but this time we're going ocean themed. These nightlights are perfect because they have somewhat of a rough surface, which will help our resin adhere. And because I'm not quite sure how messy this project is going to get, I'm going to go ahead and use this UV resin tape and just put some on the back of my nightlight just in case things get sloppy. Better to be safe than sorry, right? I'm going to trim up those edges. You're going to need a UV light to cure your resin. This double-sided light by Let's Resin is my favorite, and it's perfect for this project because our night lights rest perfectly on the centerpiece and it'll cure both sides equally. And of course, we'll be using that brand new gorgeous set of UV colored resin. This is their dark color series. Comes with 18 gorgeous colors. I'll also be using a few colors from another set they have. It's their 12 color set because there's a few different colors in here that I've used before for Seascapes and I like them too. And you're also going to want some clear UV resin for this project too. As always, follow the directions, wear your safety gear, and let's get to creating. I've taken some real sand that I got here from the beaches in Florida and I mix it with some glitz glitter and a little bit of mica powders to create some golden sand and some white sand. And you can really use anything you want to create the color of sand that you're going for. But this is what I did to get just the right colors that I wanted in my sand. And you can see I'm just taking a little bit of sand, a little bit of glitter, a little bit of mica powder, mix it up, and we're ready to get our beach poured. I've also purchased these little miniature starfish because I can't find these here. And I've also collected some shells that are perfect for this project. The first thing we're going to do is put some clear resin in a little silicone cup, put in some of our sand mixture, stir that up really good. This first one I'm going to go step by step, break it down for you so it's really easy for you to follow along. And then we're going to pour our beach part of our seascape. And then taking my silicone stick, I'm just going to shape the way I want my beach to look. I'm not into straight beaches. I like a little curve in my beach. A little more organic, you know. And then I just tap my resin to the edge of the nightlight and it's doming up really nice. All right, now we've got our sand all tidied up and I'm gonna start applying my shells while it's still wet. And this is where you can just kind of go wild and let your imagination compose the scene any way you would like. And you wouldn't believe how much I struggle trying to decide where to put what. I mean, seriously, it's not that complicated, but I overthink everything. And of course, you know, you gotta have a little pearl. I've got these gorgeous pearl beads and I love using these in Seascapes. So I'm gonna add a little pearl to our Seascape. Again, just use what you've got, have fun with this, and you can be very minimal or you can go all out. And then I'm gonna take some of that white UV resin and put a little line of wave right at the edge of our sand. And as always, I put all of the supplies down in the description of my video, and Let's Resin always provides me with discount codes just for you. So be sure to use that and save yourself some money. Now we're just going to pop this under the UV lamp for about 2 minutes and see how perfect that center acrylic plate is for resting these night lights and curing them from both sides. Now let's dive into some of these colors. The great thing about this set is you don't have to worry about mixing colors together with your clear UV resin. They've got you covered. You've got a lot of colors to work with and a lot of blues and greens for a seascape. And because I haven't used this set before, I'm just going to start playing and seeing what we have. Okay, my favorite might be the dark blue. Look how vivid this one is. Now that I've got those on there, I'm just going to do a little blending. You don't want it to look like just lines, and kind of start working our ocean magic. I'm going to grab my Cast and Craft white pigment that I usually use with epoxy. I'm going to give it a whirl with my UV resin. So I'm just going to mix that in with a little clear UV resin. And again, just kind of blending and creating the wave look. Gonna go ahead and cure that for a couple of minutes. And we will keep building this. And now I'm just going to go back and keep going in with all the same blues, working my gradient to maybe a little bit darker as it gets deeper. And then we're gonna cover the whole thing with clear resin and some more wave action on the beach. And I'd like to thank my creative crew members. I really appreciate the extra support. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Oh, these blues are gorgeous. And you can see how I've got lighter going to darker, kind of like an ocean might look. And then adding my waves. I might have went a little crazy with my waves in this one. And the reason I'm doing this is in stages is because I was worried about whether my resin was going to stay on the top of my nightlight if I kept playing with it and moving it. So I just did it in bits, cured it, and then kept going. Back under the light for another minute or two. All right, there is our base layer. Do love the texture. However, I am going to put another clear coat on this because I want to add some more waves to the beach. So I'm just taking my clear UV resin and I start with kind of where I visualize I want my waves to run up on the beach, and then I fill in the rest. And then with our white mixture, I'm going to go in and follow along the edge of the clear where I anticipated I wanted my waves to be lapping up on the shore. And I want to get them around the shells too. You know how the waves kind of create a foam around the beach on the shells and the surf? That's what I'm going for here. Kind of give it a swirly pattern. Just making sure there's no drips on my side. And then pop it right under the lamp for a final cure. And we did leave a little texture in there, which I really actually like. It reminds me more of like a glass piece you'd find in a gallery. Now I'm just going to take that tape off the back so we can get a true sense of how it's going to look. And there's what the back looks like for you. You want to leave them kind of transparent so that when you plug it in, the light shows through the colors. Oh, it's so pretty, and this does not do it justice. In real life, it looks so much better. Now that we're warmed up, we're gonna try 3 more different looking seascapes and try out some new colors. On the next one, I want it to be more turquoise and light colored, maybe less waves. So again, we're just gonna pour our beach, shape it however you want, and obviously no 2 of these are gonna ever be identical, so they're all original handcrafted pieces. I'm telling you, these would make great gifts, perfect items to sell at a craft market, or just make to keep for yourself. I'm gonna keep one and put it in our bathroom. Oh, these little starfish are so fragile. I broke his little leg off. But have no fear, we will camouflage that with sand and waves. Just finished putting down some more of my shells. I think on this one we need to pop a little shell on the other side. Yeah, there we go. And I think our shell needs a pearl. So I'm gonna just put a little dot of resin in there and put my bead in it. And now we have a little pearl in our shell. And let me show you, if you just stick your tools right under the light while you're curing the rest, these will clean up really easily for you to keep using. So a couple minutes later, here is our beach and shell part. Don't you love the sparkle in the sand? And just like that, that resin pops right off of our silicone tools, and we're ready to go. Okay, now I'm gonna mix some of these UV resin colors together to create different colors. That's the fun of this stuff. You can just mix and match and blend and create all kinds of colors with these. Maybe we'll throw a little yellow in there. No harm in playing. Let me add our white line to the beach. Cure that under my light. And the reason I'm going to cure my white line first is because I don't want this to mix with my blue at this point. Now we're going to go ahead and layer our blue. And you'll see there's a lot more bubbles in this because I was mixing a bunch of colors together. But it's okay, we'll pop those with the light in a minute. Now I'm going to go ahead and move that over my waves a little and onto the beach. Kind of going up to that shell with the pearl in it. I think I might even have some water going into the shell on that one. Aren't these miniature seascapes fun? Go in with some of my wave action. Just have fun. Your imagination is the only thing limiting you. Play, have fun, don't be afraid to experiment. I hadn't made these before. I've made big seascapes, but I've never made a nightlight seascape, so this was a first for me too. And now I'm just going to take my lighter and pop those bubbles. Even though it's a seascape, it's okay if it has bubbles, but there was a lot of bubbles in there. Now I think I'm going to take some light green and blue from my other UV resin kit with my 12 colors because they had a few different colors in that one that I liked. And I'm going to mix these together to see if I can get more of a turquoise. And yeah, that's beautiful. That's perfect. We're going to go a little more serene on this one, I think. Add in a few more waves. Cure it. And then the last layer. Go with a little darker blue. Again, I'm just mixing and matching my colors until I get what I want. Spread it out, pop the bubbles. You know what? I think this time I'm going to put some sparkle in the waves too. Why didn't I think of that before? We're going to put some sparkle in the waves. There can never be too much sparkle, am I right? Well, maybe some people wouldn't like a lot of sparkle, but it works in these, it works. So I'm just taking some clear UV resin, adding a little bit of that same glitter that I used for my sand, mixing it up, and then I'm just going to kind of put dots and dabs and dashes of sparkle around in the ocean, not everywhere, just here and there, kind of like when the light's reflecting off of a wave. And then I'll cure that just for a minute. And there's what that looks like before we put a final coat on top. I'm going to go back in with my clear coat Spread that around, pop the bubbles. And that one was quick and simple. And I can't wait to see what this one looks like plugged in. It's really translucent. I think it's going to be really pretty. But let's move on and then we'll plug them all in at the end and show you what they look like. I'm thinking I want to go for a sunset look on the next one. And I'm going to move through the next two a little quicker because you kind of get the idea and just show you what I did to give you some inspiration and ideas too. But first, I'm going to put down some saran wrap on my plate and just see what these colors look like before I start putting them all onto my Seascape. And this is always a good idea when you get a new set anyway, to kind of see what you're working with, because sometimes they'll be opaque, sometimes translucent, sometimes they'll say red, but they're really pink, you know what I mean? And these ones are from my other set, my hard type 12 color set by Let's Resin. They're much more transparent. Yeah, I think we've got a few colors in here that are going to work great for what I'm thinking. As you can see, this time I covered over my Nightlight electrical part because I didn't want to get any resiny fingers on it. Gonna go ahead with another gold beach. I think on the next one I'll do a white sand beach. But this one we're gonna do another gold because I think that'll look good with the sunset colors. Place my shells, and of course we've got to have a pearl. Add a few dots and dashes of some sand up in the water part because, you know, sometimes there's like a break and there's water in between. You know, just get creative. Have fun. Ooh, this is a gorgeous purple. Okay, this is gonna be good. Look at this violet. Oh yeah, this is pretty. And it matches my little purple shell I put in the corner too. So I'm just going in with different colors and randomly scattering them about on this one. And then blending them a little bit and then going back in with more colors, just trying to get the variation and the waves. Totally different, but I mean, you can have so much fun with these colors. And now let's go with some of that pink. Yeah, this is looking good. Oh yeah, this is making it pop. A lot of fun colors in these kits. Okay, I'm gonna stop there and cure this one. Time to add that sparkle to our sea. Isn't that little glimmer just perfect? Cure that. Now let's go in and do our waves. You can see I'm kind of varying my technique as I do each of these. I'm just playing and having fun, and I encourage you to do that too. Adding a little bit of white up in the water too. It really helps it pop and set it off. And then I'm going to cure that and put my final clear coat and final layer of waves. Again, just going to move through these a little quicker for you so you guys don't get completely bored out of your mind. Have a little bit of waves lapping up into the shell and the starfish. Give it a cure. But you know what? I think we need to add a little more dark into the... Yeah, the dark is looking better. It's helping everything pop even more. I mean, you can just keep going and going and going with as many layers as you want, really. It's hard to stop. And there we've got our final look at it. I really like that three-dimensional texture on the waves. Ooh, I wonder how this one's gonna look under the light. But hang tight, let's move on. We got one more to do. We're gonna do a white sand beach. I mean, who doesn't love a white sand beach? And I'm gonna do a scallop shell in this one. I actually found these scallop shells at the same place I got my sand. I'm gonna go crazy. We're gonna add a lot more shells to this one. Oh, let's pop another pearl in there. Going crazy, I'm going crazy. Throwing it all in on this one. All right, now I've mixed up some more colors and I'm loving this turquoise with the white sand. Sorry if you hear cows mooing in the background. It's that time of year. I think they're getting frisky, if you know what I mean. They're not my cows, but we are surrounded by farms. Pop those bubbles. Ooh, I'm really loving how soft and sweet this one feels. Add in some of my waves and my clear coat. Same process. Let's give these waves a little bit of a wisp. This one's really pretty. Back under the light. They're all very unique, really. All right, let's go take them in and plug them in. Now remember, the light does not do this justice. But yeah, they're so pretty. Well, what do you guys think? Do you think this is something you'd want to try to make? Pretty easy. All right, now for the details of this giveaway. Ba-bum! Wasn't that fun? You can make jewelry, earrings, bookmarks, keychains. I mean, you can go wild with this set of UV colored resins. Let's Resin says they can ship to the US and UK. So if you're in either of those places, you can enter to win. Of course, you've got to be 18 years or older. And I'll put all the other rules about the contest that YouTube requires down in the description of the video. There'll be a link. And if you don't mind subscribing to my channel, I hope you're already subscribed, but if you aren't, that sure helps me out a lot. And if you give me a thumbs up on the video, YouTube says, hey, people like this, and they show it to more people. And that also helps me out a lot. So I'd really appreciate that. But to enter the giveaway, be in the UK, be in the US, and just comment below which Seascape you liked the best. That's it. That's all you have to do. And I'm gonna draw the names on next Saturday, the 21st. So be looking for a community post where I'm gonna announce the winners. Be sure you're subscribed and turn your notifications on so that you see the community post. And I will also pin a comment with the winners' names on this video. So you've got two places you can check to see if you won. And then I'll just give you my email. You can reach out to me and we'll get a hold of Let's Resin and they're gonna ship you your winning. Thank you, Let's Resin, for putting this giveaway out there for my creative followers. And I'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye. See you next time.